Congratulations on your purchase of the Turbo S1. Let's open up the box and start the assembly process. You'll notice when you open the box, you'll have your owner's manual pack. You'll have several different bags with quiver parts, things like that. Arrows will be down below, scope will be below, your quiver will be down below as well, and then of course the crossbow. Let's get it unpacked and we'll go from there. Now that we have everything boxed, you can see that we have the Allen wrenches, the owner's manual, quiver and mounting hardware, century bow hanger, arrows, crank handle, and your scope. We'll start by mounting the century bow hanger and the quiver bracket. To do this, you'll turn the bow upside down. You'll start by taking the set screws out that are on either side of the main assembly bolt. There'll be one on each side. They're very small. Just go ahead and remove those. Install your century bow hanger. Then with your quiver mounting hardware, you will have two sets of all thread, and you'll want to pick the shorter of the two for the 10-point bows. And you'll just twist those in. Put them in by hand as far as you can to start with. Then you'll want to go ahead and just snug those up with your Allen wrench. You don't have to go crazy, you don't have to over tighten them, just hand tight is good. The next piece will be your stepped quiver bracket. And when you install this, you want the step to go up and backwards. You don't want it getting out in front here. You want it stepped back towards the bow itself. Then you got your two locking nylock nuts. Go ahead and hand tighten those down as far as they go. They won't go in very far by hand. Then you'll need to go ahead and get your crescent wrench and tighten those down. Once you have those tightened down, you will take the side mount quiver bracket. You'll have two Phillips head screws. And for right-handed shooters, you want the quiver to come down the right-hand side. So the bow's upside down. So currently we'll have that coming off the left-hand side. That way when we flip it over, it'll be all set. Those two screws will tighten down right onto that stepped bracket that we just put on. And now that that's tightened up, you'll see on the other side, you'll have two more Phillips screws. Go ahead and take those out. And that's where we're going to mount the female side of the quick detach. You'll open up that lever just to give yourself a little bit of room to work. The screws will go through the quick detach and onto the side mount quiver bracket. Now for the quiver itself, you'll have the main body of the quiver, then you will have the male side of the quick detach, and two small self-tapping Phillips head screws. And then we will attach that quiver. The screws will go right into the back of the spine of the quiver. And now your quiver will slide right into the female side of the quick detach. Lock that lever, and the quiver is now mounted. Now let's go ahead and get the scope installed. Flip the bow back over. You grab your scope, and on the one side you'll see nuts that are on the scope rings. Loosen those up until they're most of the way out. On this particular bow, most people are going to want 2 to 3 spaces left empty when they install the scope. That will give you kind of the best eye relief. So I'm going to start here in the 4th slot. And I like to rock the scope kind of left to right and pull those brackets out. And you'll feel that scope drop into the grooves of that Picatinny rail. Then just go ahead and snug those up by hand. Then you can take a small Allen wrench. Those nuts actually have a hole through them, so you can put that Allen wrench in here and snug them up. And I like to alternate a little bit to not bind the scope up as I'm installing it. Just make sure those are good and tight. And again, you don't have to go crazy here. Hand tight and you're in good shape. And then last, we will put the crank handle into the stock. You'll take the socket end, will go in the hole. And as you install it, you want the knob to line up with the stock. And just slide it in and it will lock into place. And that concludes the assembly process.